My name is Victoria Wiesner and I'm a vocalist of Catalyst Symphony. Going back to the very beginning of our group, to be honest, the past is not very long because we were created in June 2022. I know that the band started to form itself a month or two prior, but I have joined in June 2022, and from June onwards, we've been working together with no breaks, always working hard, always going forward. We have started as a group of four, and meanwhile, we have a few people leaving and a few people coming. Our current band consists of six incredible musicians. The oldest member and the creator is, of course, Chris Armstrong, who does an incredible job and without whom we would be nowhere. And I'm the second oldest member of the band. I've been asked by a friend of a friend if I'd be interested in joining the band that plays symphonic metal and rock. And to be honest, my first thought was, well, this is not my cup of tea, because I am an opera singer. I work in an opera, in a theater, and so they've been looking for someone who could combine both so-called regular singing with the operatic singing. And the friend of a friend knew that I'm an opera singer, so he just asked, just like that. And my first reaction was, I am not sure. So he told me one of the inspirations for the band is Nightwish, the band Nightwish, and I've known Nightwish, and I really like Nightwish. And then he sent me some ideas for the songs. Basically, the songs written, composed by Chris, with no vocal line, just the music. And after, a few seconds, I knew I love it and I want to be a part of it. So we started with the rehearsal. It was also in June 2022. Our first gig took place in August 2022. And to be honest, things were just getting better and better. We've been working on our image. We've been working on the idea that we want to incorporate into our music. We've been exchanging the ideas. I found myself very comfortable with writing the lyrics first in English, and English is not my first language. I'm from Poland. Then I decided to try and write some music myself. So we've been an extremely busy and extremely creative group of people working non-stop. We have worked non-stop for the last, it's going to be 3 years in June. An incredible anniversary.
Hello everyone, thanks to World of Metal for having us on. I'm Chris Armstrong, I'm the guitarist and founder of Catalyst Symphony. We were I formed Catalyst Symphony back in 2022, as Victoria said. I started by putting what was then a demo of Nova. Didn't have any vocals, it was a little different to how it is now. Just out on the internet, and a couple like Facebook groups, join my band, places like that, which is like, hey, is anyone's interested in this, playing this kind of music? I met a couple of people who were interested, and I was a bassist and a guitarist. When we sort of had our first practice session, I said, hey, does anyone know a singer? And our bassist said, yeah, I know someone who can sing, which turned out to be the greatest understatement in history, because next practice session, he should show up with a professional mezzo-soprano who just completely transformed all the songs. Victoria is absolutely phenomenal. And since then, it's just been sort of slowly adding more people to the band, finding more people. I think the thing that really works for me is that really helps me, is that everyone who's joined the band has been someone who reached out to us, someone who saw what we were doing, whether that's someone who met us at a gig or someone who saw one of our posts online and thought, I love that, I want to be part of that. And it means that everyone in the band is really motivated, everyone in the band takes the music so seriously, and when I present them with the songs, or when Tamara writes a song, or when Vicky has some lyrics, everyone's on board with making their part as good as it can be. And I think that really helps that, yes, I am the founder, but it's not just me doing my thing and everyone else executing it perfectly. It's everyone really has this investment to the music and bringing their own style to it and trying to make it as great as it can be. So, yeah.
Today, on the 2nd of May 2025, we officially released our very first EP, The Light Inside. We do hope that the reception of our EP will be positive, and we do hope that those who have already believed in us and supported us will not be disappointed. Uh, we really do hope that those 3 songs will bring various emotions to the listeners. We have spent a lot of time working on every detail, and personally, I think that there is something for everyone. Maybe you will enjoy the upbeat Eden, so called the fastest love song, or maybe energetic Nova, or maybe nostalgic yet powerful Salvation. I think this EP though consists of 3 songs only. First of all, those songs are quite long, and I feel like the fusion of musical inspirations in them makes this EP relatable to basically anyone. You don't have to be a fan of metal itself or rock to find yourself feeling, wow, this music really speaks to me. These are our hopes, and first and foremost, my hope, because whatever we do, or whatever I do as a soloist, my main goal is to make people feel something, make them really feel that this music speaks to their souls.
As far as the reception for The Light Inside, well, it's release day and it's already been pretty positive, so that's fantastic. But in general, I think it's just, building and building. As Vicky pointed out, we are a very new band. We've only been going for 2 or 3 years. So everything is just, first foot forwards, walking forward. It's all progress, really. So we're not expecting The Light Inside to suddenly be catapulting us to headlining stadium tours, but just, raising our profile a bit, getting our music out there, getting more people to listen to it, and hopefully really enjoy it, because we're really proud of this music. We think we wouldn't put it out there if we didn't think it was really great and didn't think it was really adding something to the conversation within symphonic metal and the wider world of music, and that we didn't think it was expressing our desires and our feelings through music. So yeah, I just really hope everyone enjoys it. I really hope that people give it a listen, and I really hope that it leads to nice opportunities for us in the future and people wanting to play with us.
I think one of the biggest compliments, well, actually 2. So maybe let's talk about the first one. The first one is, of course, being compared to Nightwish, which is an incredible compliment. However, personally, I don't think we are that alike. The only thing in common is the genre, more or less, and the fact that I'm an opera singer. And don't get me wrong, I adore Nightwish. We don't want to copy, we want to be ourselves. So such comparison is an incredible thing. But even more often, we do hear that actually our music is quite unique. And personally, I have heard people approaching me and telling me that, well, usually your genre of music is not my go-to, but I really like you. And, well, I'm honored when I hear that. When it comes to inspirations, it's actually a very interesting thing. We are all, well, not all of us, not all of us. So we have 2 proud Scottish members of a band, but the rest of us have their roots everywhere in the world, actually. So we have definitely heard a lot of folk influence, and that is mainly because of Chris, who was born and raised in Northern Ireland. So you can definitely hear and feel that in many of our songs. Myself, being Polish, I try to include a little bits of our traditional sound. We do also have Maltese-born Tamara, and we have Maya on her fiddle. So I think we try to incorporate the folk from all over the world, combined with rock, metal, and opera, of course. And to be honest, this mix comes across very nicely, in my opinion.
So as far as the influences and the inspirations, we draw from a lot of different places. I think that as musicians, you can't just be sort of taking from, we can't just be doing Nightwish or just be doing Winter Sun or whatever. Much as I do love both of them, they are obviously part of what we're doing. I think as far as the metal aspect of it, I'm approaching it less from drawing from symphonic metal, more from drawing from the classic melodic metal that Iron Maiden, my favorite band, and sort of taking that and adding a more symphonic element to it. As far as the folk aspect, a lot of it's because I grew up in Ireland and I sort of heard that music around me all the time. My mum was always playing Irish traditional tunes on the flute or tin whistle. So those kind of melodies and those kind of phrasings are just part of my DNA, literally. So when I was sort of reaching to write melodic parts for The Light Inside, that was sort of already there inside me. But in terms of direct influences as well, I think Gustav Holst is a huge influence of mine. He's a classical composer, most famous for the Planet Suite, but if you listen to some of the other stuff, like Fantasia on the Dargeson, where he combines a lot of traditional English folk music with his background in classical, I think that stuff is really fascinating and really beautiful, and that's kind of the energy I'm trying to take to this, where I'm bringing those folk influences and bringing what I love about that to the style of metal in a way that I hope respects both, and that doesn't just feel like a gimmick, and that feels like I'm really trying to add my own voice to the conversation. And I think also having Maya there, Maya who is from the world of folk, Maya who is a folk harpist and also classically trained, she's able to then add so much more authenticity to those folk parts. When I write these string parts and then Maya gets them and tells me I'm stupid and changes a bunch of things, she's able to really bring that level, because I like folk, but it's not the music I play day in, day out. So that really elevates things as well and makes the folk element a lot more authentic, which I think then combined with the symphonic elements and the melodic metal elements and whatever else gets there's like pop punk influence and stuff in there. So it all combines together in a way that I really enjoy, and I hope you all do too.
Now, a little bit about the writing and recording process of our EP. The whole process basically started in June 2022 when we were created. And what is interesting, we actually worked on those songs in the reverse, because the very first single that we released was Eden, then Nova, and third one, Salvation, today with the whole EP. But we actually started with Salvation, then with Nova, and then Eden. Salvation was the very first song that was ready. When I had joined the band, before the very first rehearsal, I have already received lyrics and music, and so I've learned it, but I have asked if at the end I could maybe try and improvise a little bit with some operatic vocalization, so-called cool operatic stuff. And so I just spontaneously gave it a go, and after I finished, we looked at each other and thought, that really sounds great. I mean, that sounds cocky, but we really enjoyed it. And Salvation is a song that we debated about the most. Should it be included in the EP or not? Because of its length, because of so many parts that it has. It's not like it sometimes seems like this song consists of a couple of pieces, but they make sense all together. However, we were not sure of the reception, but the crowd loved it. They loved that they could join us in the chorus at the end, and they really, really, they seemed to be very moved and touched by it. So we decided collectively to include Salvation. Nova was a song that I fell in love with. It was the very first song I have heard written by Chris, and as I said, there were moments, and I knew I wanted to be a part of this project. Nova had no lyrics. I think it was missing some vocal lines too, but I was so enthusiastic about it, and voila, everything was ready. I think in a day or two, and it was ready to be performed. Nova was a big surprise with this very high note at the end of each chorus, like Nova, but of the fire. And at first I was a little bit apprehensive, like, oh, can I sing it? Will it be okay? But it is okay, and I actually love it now. And I absolutely love when the crowd joins us on Nova. So the message of Nova is such beautiful and powerful, and I feel like it really delivers the message that is so important for us, and it is a message of inclusivity, so that no one feels alone or left out. And this song shows that there is a place for everyone, and we should be proud of who we are. And Eden, as I said, our first single, Eden actually went through the most amount of alterations. Originally, the song was called Synth Bunker, if I recall correctly, and it was written in some crazy key, to the point where, well, don't get me wrong, I have to face some crazy sounds because I'm an opera singer, but that was just it was not written for human. No offense to Chris, I love you, but even I think it was even difficult to play it to the key, and so it has to be. We needed to transpose it a little bit lower, and it has no lyrics. That was my debut as a lyricist. So I just sat down and I thought, hmm, what can this song be about? Chris provided me some core parts of the lyrics, so I just tried to lead on it, um, and that was very helpful. I knew it has to be a love song because that was the idea of Chris in those few verses in there. And to be honest, I remember submitting the lyrics and Chris adapted them and added something from his side. He added a lot, so we just combined our forces. And suddenly we started to call the song Eden. It was not my idea. I have included the word Eden in the song, of course, but I don't know, it just spontaneously became an Eden song. And well, everyone loves Eden. I mean, we try to choose a favorite song. It's hard, but I think Eden, we all have a very soft spot for Eden. But well, I went too far about the whole process of writing. When it comes to the recording, we knew we really want to work with someone who's amazing, and so Richard from the Orpheus Studios recommended, and we could not be happier with the result. We went down to London twice, once in April 2024 and then second time in September 2024 to record the songs. It was me, it was Darren and Chris. Each time I've spent around 3 days recording all day long. Well, there are lovely memories of those 3 days, but I remember leaving the studio and feeling like a vampire because I was in the darkness, in the basement, doing my very best, trying to deliver, and it was a very, very hard work, but such a satisfying one. And well, with Richard being so professional and good at his job, we managed to really squeeze all of those sessions into 3 days twice. The AP songs were recorded in April and then additional songs in September, but about this, hopefully, soon.
So the writing process for The Light Inside is quite funny because it took place over about a decade. I wrote Salvation when I was 17, I wrote No when I was 27. But they were all written before I even formed Catalyst Symphony, which meant that when the band was formed and then we had to start writing lyrics and figuring out how we were actually going to play everything, a lot of changes happened. Nova was the first one. Well, Salvation, we already had the lyrics from when I wrote it back with my sibling when we were teenagers, and I just sort of changed them a bit, gave them to Vicky, and then she added so much with that ending cadenza. Oh my word. The first rehearsal we had, she just busted that out of nowhere. It was like, oh my god. I was just like trying to play while paying attention, like, oh. And then obviously when Maya got her hands on the intro and the other orchestral part, she added a lot there. Like there's a lot of little details, like the heart parts in the verse, and obviously the intro, which were just like her at her distance entirely. So it's really cool for me to see how that song has evolved and changed from that thing I wrote back when I was a teenager. Nova was the next one we worked on, and the vocal part in Nova was very much me going mad with power, realizing that, oh my god, Vicky can just do anything. She can do whatever we want her to, and then like the leaps in the chorus for Nova are unbelievable. I challenge any singer to try that properly. It's incredibly challenging, but Vicky nails it every time. And then after we did that, we were like, okay, for Eden, we're going to keep it simple for the chorus. We're just going to have a very strong, really simple vocal line that's very catchy, very easy to sing along to, and that would be kind of different from Nova in that way. And then we just added more and more harmonies to it. And I think there's like 14 voices in the choir for Eden. And yeah, we had to change the key a couple of times to make it fit more in Vicky's register. But I think the end result is just so huge. And for the recording process, so there was actually we recorded in 3 separate places technically. So for the drums and vocals, we went down to our producer Richard in London at Orpheus Studios, recommended to us by Fellowship. Thank you again for that recommendation, because Richard is such a professional, just a lovely guy, and was just so on it. No messing around, no having a cup of tea and waiting 2 hours. No, he was in the door working, and just to produce such fantastic results for us. Darren and Vicky both had so much positive things to say about him. And then for the rest of the parts, the guitars and bass, Tamara and I recorded that at my place, and Maya recorded all of her strings and harp and keyboards and stuff at hers, and I think we had the backing vocals at Maya's. And then sent those off to Richard, and then he just knocked it out of the park with the production. So being able to do parts of it at home definitely made the process a bit easier for us in some ways, and having a very focused session where we have 3 days to get everything done for the recordings in London, because we were spending Creative Scotland's wonderful grant money on that, so that focus really helped us get that nailed down, and everyone just brought their A game straight out the gate. So I think I really like the process we had. I think that's probably what we're going to keep doing going forwards.
When it comes to the upcoming months, we are very busy. We perform a lot, and our schedule of performances is available online. We're very, very lucky and grateful for all of those opportunities. And literally last week, we participated in the finals of Metal for Masses. So we are proud finalists of the Scottish edition. It was a true honor and pleasure to share the stage with such amazing bands. And our launch party takes place on 12th of June in Glasgow in Ivory Blacks, and you're all invited. We have incredible lineup and some fantastic musicians who support us. So that will be our official launch party. And as I said, we have more songs recorded. We have even more songs written because our band consists of some incredible composers and songwriters. So we keep on creating something all the time. There are big plans for us to try and perform as much as possible to make sure that we can reach out to all of the people that will feel part of our music. That's our main goal, and seeing so many beautiful comments from all over the world saying that, wow, your music really means something to me is our biggest pride and joy. So a launch party in June, a little tour in Scotland in July. We are also playing in Edinburgh on 17th of May as a support. So if you want to see us, we will be there in Scotland playing for you, and we cannot wait to be on stage and share those beautiful emotions with people.
Yes, we absolutely are planning to promote the EP via live performances. As Vicky says, we've got our debut headlining launch show in Glasgow at Ivory Blacks on June 12th, where we're bringing along 3 bands that we really love. Pyroclast, which we're really excited about because we've not had a chance to play with them yet, and they're fantastic. We really love that sort of melodic metal, thrash metal thing they're doing. Genius Lee, who we have played with before, and they're absolutely lovely people, all of them. And Chekhov's Gun, who I think are one of the coolest things rising up out of Scotland right now. They're like all 20 and just incredible musicians, so I'm really looking forward to that. And we've also got the tour, of course, in July. We've got Supporting Tales of Time, that's happening on May 17th, so pretty soon. And that's the kind of thing we really want to be doing. We really love what they're doing, and we really think that playing with other established bands in the UK and even further afield is absolutely the kind of thing we want to be doing to get our music in front of the people that we know are going to love it, because we know there are people out there who are going to love what we're going to do, and all we really want to do is meet them, have them find us, have them feel the way that we do about the music that we love. So that's very much the direction we're trying to move in. Thank you.